Hi everyone, I'm going to talk about the full moon in Leo on January 28th, 2021. So this full moon in Leo is quite intense because every planet is getting involved or is at least getting some intense aspects at this time. I'm doing things a little bit differently this time because these placements are in the sky are affecting my own chart quite intensely, so that's why I'm taking my own advice and doing things a little bit simpler this time. Less work for me, but you'll still get the my analysis of current astrological events. I also won't be doing a sign by sign forecast this full moon because because I'm trying to take care of myself. But here is the chart. I'll be going through it and explaining the symbols so that you can follow along even if you don't have any astrological knowledge. So I hope you can follow along easily and that you will get some benefit from this. So first of all, this full moon, of course, is when the moon is opposite the sun. And as you can see here in this chart, we have the little moon symbol down in the right quadrant in Leo at 9 degrees and 5 minutes of Leo, and opposite in the upper left quadrant we have the sun, which is the medium brown symbol, the circle with a little dot in the middle at 9 degrees and 5 minutes of Aquarius. And as you can see, it's getting quite crowded in Aquarius. We already have 4 planets there. Venus is about to enter the picture, and in 2 weeks' time on the Aquarius new moon, we'll have let's see, six celestial bodies in Aquarius. So things are heating up. But I also feel that this new moon is one of the peaks of this intense start to 2021. So first of all, I'll talk a little bit about the full moon in itself, and then I'll get into how the other planets are affecting this energy. Yeah, so the Leo-Aquarius axis is one where we can see the tension between the group and the individual. Leo is concerned with everything individualistic. It's the sign of the king, the leader, of creativity, of fun, of joy, of individual creative expression. And that's why I see a lot of artists or musicians have this have Leo associated positions in their charts. Aquarius, on the other hand, is more concerned. It's still an individual and very individualistic. In personal charts, Aquarius gives this signification of needing to do things in your own way. But it's also very much concerned with the group. So there's this tension of doing things my way or based on the group. With the axis as well, you see Aquarius signifying the collective, and Leo being more the group, or the leader or the person in charge of the group. Leo is the sign of the king or the queen, after all. So I find that it makes me think of this question of, has leadership been for the glorification of the leader or for the good of the group? That's what you could call, low vibration energy of Leo, being, like the narcissist, essentially. On the other hand, you have this low vibrational energy of Aquarius being sacrificing what you need to do in order to be part of the group, in order to adhere to rules and regulations rather than doing what's right for you. So the best expression of these two energies is a group structure, a collective, where the individuals are also able to grow according to their own heart. Leo also signifies the heart, and what's in your heart. So a few aspects are getting involved here. You can see that in Aquarius, in this, with the wave symbols, by the number 11 up in the left upper quadrant, you have Jupiter, this kind of foreglyph, which is really close to the sun, also at 9 degrees of Aquarius. So Jupiter is this optimistic energy. It's an energy of, yes, let's go do some new things. So that gives a lot of optimism for the future. But the ruler of Aquarius, Saturn, is also there at 4 degrees. So he's a little bit off, but he's still there. And Saturn is these structures and regulations and what we're really feeling right now, because I don't really know what's going on in other countries, but at least here in Norway, we're in super full strict lockdown, and very few shops are allowed to stay open. So I feel that, we're really in winter hibernation, not just from, cold. It's like medium cold right now, but we're also in winter hibernation just from government, from rules and regulations. Also, you can see this square forming both to the moon and to the sun, Jupiter, Saturn in Aquarius, and that's in Taurus. That's in the bottom left quadrant. It's this circle with horns. As you can see in this like green-brown symbol. And Mars is there at 10 degrees of Taurus, just 1 degree off from the exact square point between the moon and the sun. That's the red glyph at 10 degrees of Taurus. And also Uranus is there at 6 degrees, the blue symbol in Taurus right there. So these actually went, Mars went exactly conjunct, that is together with Uranus last week, about Tuesday. So I think a lot of people have felt some like pretty intense energy, some intense experiences from about Tuesday last week. I certainly felt that, and this Uranus-Mars thing is like, we need to, it's this feeling of immediacy. Uranus brings shocking, revealing experiences that can be disruptive, that can be very unusual, that can be very, it's also associated with lightening. So, getting a message that just like shakes you to the core, because it's so, it reveals something new to you. Uranus also is the great liberator, It's the planet of the revolutionary, of revolutions, of revolts. And Mars is the planet of conflict, of anger, but also of courage and the hero's journey, where you go off and really do what's good for you, what's really true for you. So as these two came exact, we started seeing a lot of and also, the really important thing is that they're squaring both Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. And these two planets are more representative of government, especially in Aquarius, as Uranus and Mars have become more conjunct. We saw it in America a few weeks ago with the storming of the Congress. What I've been expecting looking at January from last year is this, people will start really being fed up with rules and regulations, and we'll see a lot of this more the frustrations of people will become a lot more apparent. I mean, last year, I just talked to a few people that were like, well, yeah, I'm so sick of regulations, Corona. But right now, I mean, as this started becoming more exact, of course, the square as well as an aspect signifies frustration. It's an energy with tension that often makes us do something. It's very motivating. It's a very motivating aspect to do something about the situation signified by the placements. But yeah, I've seen a lot more writings in the newspapers here in Norway. People being fed up with regulations, the way that the regulations are being upheld, and seeing just even riots at the moment in the Netherlands and in Denmark, where even a lot of people have burned a dummy or an effigy with the face of the Prime Minister of Denmark. So we really see this Mars coming out, the frustration, the conflict, the anger. Mars is associated with flames, after all, the burning of the doll or the effigy. And yeah, I just, I think that this is kind of the peak of something that has been going on for quite a while. I mean, things have been building for a few years now. When Uranus entered Taurus in 2018, so spring of it's almost three years ago already, but it hasn't really been triggered that much. But this year it's getting a constant square from Saturn, so it's being super triggered, and it's all to do with how at least one layer of this is how government rules, regulations are affecting our needs, our safety, how we meet our basic needs. That's very, very Taurus themes. Yeah, and also the other thing going on here, the other cycle going on, is Mars has spent over 6 months in his own sign of Aries last year, from June 28th until actually about the 6th of January is when he entered Taurus this year. So, and in this meantime, not only did he go retrograde in his own sign, super strong retrograde, but he also went in square with the outer planets that gave us Corona, that gave us 2020 last year, which was Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn. Now we're seeing the finalization of this because Mars went retrograde. That's an optical illusion created by the movements of the planets relative to the Earth. But what it looks like is that a planet that goes retrograde kind of goes backwards. That's what it looks like from our position in the solar system. Of course, it doesn't do that. It's just like, you know, if you're going in the fast lane on the highway, it looks like the car going in the slow lane is kind of driving backwards, but it's only because you're speeding past, right? So there were squares to all the outer planets in Capricorn last year: Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, from Mars in Aries. And now that Saturn and Jupiter moved into Aquarius in the days before winter solstice last year, December 21st, Mars is completing the final square to Jupiter and Saturn in now that they are in Aquarius, and Mars will be in Taurus. So think back, you know, there could be some patterns that are completing or manifesting or being implemented in their final stage right now, because Mars is finishing up this cycle of squares to the outer planets. And think back to things that started in the weeks after June 28th last year, so last summer. But yeah, there's really a lot of immediacy, that there's a feeling of, you know, I need freedom right now. I can't do this anymore. It needs to happen right now. Yeah, so that's what I'll say about that. Also, the moon is getting a trine from Chiron in Aries. And of course that means that's the kind of K symbol, the green one, at 5 degrees of Aries. It kind of looks like a key with a K on it. Yeah, Chiron is the wounded healer, and he represents our healing, but also our gift that we give to the world. I think that this full moon is really an opportunity to becoming ourselves, essentially, you know. Selfhood is, and your heart, you know, is really themes of Aries, of Leo, where the moon is right now. So I think that, you know, whatever frustrations are surfacing are potentially this liberation from past wounds, past patterns, past situations, past people where you couldn't really be yourself. Because that's what Chiron and Aries is dealing with, and is pushing us all to deal with, is he's pushing us to deal with the things that make us feel it's not okay to be us. That makes you feel it's not okay to be you. In other news, you see Mercury. It's the purple little like, it looks like a woman symbol with horns on it. Mercury is the planet of communication and transport and perception, and how we communicate, how we think. He's at 26 degrees of Aquarius right now, and in just 3 days, around January 31st, he will go retrograde. And Mercury retrograde is usually a time of becoming, of needing to reevaluate, rethink, reconsider the things that have happened in this area of your life for the past at least for the past few weeks, as Mercury has been in what we call the pre-shadow. That's usually like 2 weeks before Mercury goes retrograde. Then he will go retrograde for 3 weeks, where you'll have this period of like reconsidering and reworking and redoing the things that you've done there. And then Mercury will go past the same degrees So he stations direct and moves direct again, but that is more the implementation period. Yeah, the themes that are going on right now are not really, done after this full moon. There are some things that we will have to reconsider about what we've said, how we've communicated. Yeah, it's time to deal with things. In Aquarius, again, it's with groups, it's with this sense of individuality where you do what's best for you, and how can you do things in a way that's unique for you. Also, we have, at the time of this full moon, Venus is exactly conjunct Pluto. So for the areas of your chart ruled by Venus, there can be some intense experiences. And also Venus is the general significator of love, of relationships, and how we deal with money and our possessions, beauty. So, and a transformation of these areas. So, get ready to be transformed, I guess. Of course, I haven't shown it here, but Neptune in 19 degrees of Pisces, that's the sort of turquoise trident in Pisces in the, it's just, it's on the left side there. Is still in square with the nodal axis. So that's it's been going on since September. Neptune doesn't move very fast, and neither does the nodal axis. But as I've said before, this is dealing with disillusionment. The nodal axis really signifies the past and the future. It's sort of where you're coming from and where you're going. So having Neptune there in a square, it's this sort of frustrating, anger-filled, but also therefore motivational force, getting you out of illusion, getting you out of spiritual dogma, getting you into perspective of where you are going in your life. Okay, so that's a pretty long talk from me. I hope you've enjoyed this a little lighter, at least on the film technical side, full moon forecast, and good luck. Take care is my advice. Like, if you're feeling the intensity, then do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And that can be, taking a breath, taking a break. I remember my mother asked me, she was looking at something and asking, when is it like a good time to do this, in January or February. So I had to look through both January and February, and I had to look at this full moon, and I was like, maybe you should just stay inside that day. just watch some movies, because this is intense. Of course, I don't think you can really hide from the energies of the cosmos, but just remember to take care of yourself, as I'm doing now, by lightening the workload. Sleep, meditate, eat, make sure you're hydrated, and good luck. And I'm hopefully back on the Aquarius new moon in about 2 weeks with a little bit more of me and my take on the Aquarius new moon and where we're going from there. See you next time, and goodbye.